Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are going to take a look at something a little different, something I've never actually taken a look at ever on this channel, and that is a surprise egg, a dinosaur surprise egg. This is by a company, as you can see right up here at the top. The company is called Zuru, and I recently discovered these at Walmart. They are called Dino-Strike, as you can see right there in the title, sticking straight out at you at the front of the egg there. But I also had seen a few images of these online, and they really heavily reminded me of Dino Riders, and anything that can remind me of Dino Riders will immediately have me sold on them. So I went ahead and got a hold of a couple here to take a look at with you guys, and I was really excited to do just that. I actually have opened 3 of the 4 that I have here already, but I'm going to go ahead and break this one open in front of you. So the very first thing that we're going to have to do is peel off all of this stuff here, the stickers and everything. You can definitely see that there's a really cool image of the Rex over here. And then once we peel all this stuff off, we'll break the actual egg open, and then we'll see what we have to do from there. Okay, so once we get to this point, we have all the packaging and everything off. We have to pull this out, this little top here, which then causes it to almost look like an orange when you would cut an orange into slices. And from here, what you have to do then is take each one of these little things here, and you have to peel them off. If I can figure out where the thing is, there we go. There's a little handle over here. We have to peel it off, and then once we peel it off, we'll see what we have inside. So immediately, we can see that we've got the legs of the figure right here, and we also have a tail. So interestingly enough, I don't think I already have this figure. So then we'll pull the next one open, and we have more parts of our dinosaur in here. We've got what appears to be a front leg, and I can tell right away that looking at this here, if we can pull that out, we've got a Triceratops. Yes, we do. And then we've got another leg here. So we'll move on to the next one. I think that's everything in there. Oh, I was incorrect. We've also got the little booklet here that's kind of hiding in there. And we pull this open, we've got the body of our Triceratops in here, and then we get to the fun part of exposing what weapons come with this figure, which is exactly why I say it looks like a Dino Riders figure. Really has a strong feeling and resemblance to Dino Riders. And then we pull this open, and we have, oh, here's our actual weapon. The rest was armor. So here is our Triceratops, now assembled and looking really quite cool. Then we've got the armor and all of this fun stuff that you have to put together. And then you have to attach the weapons and all of this stuff. So let's go ahead and do that quickly. So here is our Triceratops, and he is now armored up and looking awesome. You actually have instructions that come with the figure as well, just to give you a little extra tip if you are interested in trying to put this together without any type of confusion. And then you have this little guy here that just shows you all the other figures that are in the line. You've got quite a few different species that are in fact included, and then you actually have the other side here to look at as well. So you've got definitely quite a bit as far as what you can collect when it comes to these figures. It does state right here there are 13 different ones to acquire, and as I stated at the beginning of the review, I actually have a few others here already. I have the Ankylosaurus, I also have the Stegosaurus, I'm running out of room a little bit here I think, and then I also have the Plesiosaurus as well. So we've got quite a few to look at, so let's go ahead and get a closer look at these guys right now. So here is the Stegosaurus. You can see that the Stegosaurus has actually 2 guns, and they are in different positions, although you can put them both up there. But there was also a little spot on the side. I guess you could put the weapons if you would like. So I put one down on the side, one up on the top. But if we actually take the armor off of our Stegosaurus, we also pulled his plates off because it does attach to the plates. It kind of goes over top of each plate, as you can see right there. And I just fired off a missile. But when we actually put the plates back on the Stegosaurus here, you can see that the sculpting of the Stegosaurus itself is actually quite nice. It definitely sports some really nice detail for being, I think, like $6. You can buy this very nicely detailed Stegosaurus, some really beautiful sculpt and detail around the eye, along with a nice black paint there for the eye. You don't get too much as far as coloration goes on the figure, but honestly, it's not really too much different than any other figure that you find out there, like similar to the Mattel line. This is about similar to what you would get when it comes to a Mattel Jurassic World figure. So you've got the green primary body color, you've also got some brown on the plates that run down until you get to the tail and the brown disappears. You also get yellow streaks here on the side of the dinosaur, and then a light underbelly, so there is a decent bit of color variation included in the figure, but honestly it has a really nice sculpt. Look at the beautiful skin detail, the really nice skin texture of the head area, beautiful beak sculpted out up there. When you come back into the front legs, you can definitely see some really nice musculature in the legs, beautifully sculpted out feet down there. It also sports some really nice detailing all over the body as far as skin texture goes. You've also got kind of some skin folds down there. This could probably be pushed down a little bit further, but you can see that there is some really nice scaling up here on the top of the dinosaur as well, and there's also some nice sculpt work and detail within the actual plates. You can really see as I turn it, you can get a sense of the detailing there as well, along with some really nice muscle tone back here in the rear leg. You also see some injuries. There's also some slits to the skin right there, so it does sport some wounds, considering it is a battling dinosaur with guns on it. It's probably going to get hurt at some point. And you come down to the tail, you've got kind of like the veins and everything running through the tail, and then you get down here into the tail and you can see even some nice detailing within the spikes, the tail spikes of the tail. So it really is a fairly nice looking Stegosaurus, and both sides are also really highly detailed. So as far as a $6 figure goes that comes with some really cool weapons and you can emulate the Dino Riders figures, this is a fantastic choice. Then we have the Plesiosaurus, and you can see this one also sports kind of that double gun type of a thing, and these actually work quite well. As you can see, when I shoot them, they work really well. You could take that off. It also sports kind of some headgear that we can take off as well. So here is the Plesiosaur, and you can see, taking a look at the head, it does sport some really nice detailing as well. Look at that really nice scaling on the lower jaw. Very nicely sculpted out teeth. Unfortunately, the teeth, along with the inside of the mouth, they are not painted, but I could imagine how cool it would look with a little bit of paint added to it. It is really cool in general to see that there is an articulated jaw on the figure as well, and the articulated jaw works perfectly, so it is really, really nice as far as that goes. The figures themselves actually sport some really nice articulation. I forgot to point the articulation out on the Stegosaurus, but you can see it has leg articulation. All four legs can in fact move, and it also sports some neck articulation along with tail articulation as well. So really nice articulation as far as the Stegosaurus goes. As far as the Plesiosaurus goes, you have articulation in all of the flippers, the tail as well, not much, but a little bit of tail articulation, and then you've got neck articulation that works really, really well. Actually, beautiful neck articulation. But back to the sculpt, as we lead down the neck, look at the really, really nice looking scaling as we come down the neck. Beautiful spinal column of the animal as well, and look at the very big scaling once we get down into the body of the animal. Really, really nice skin texture, even down here on the flippers. Look at how incredible that looks. Beautiful work. The underside has like a yellowish coloration, and also sports some incredible sculpt and detail as far as the scaling all over the animal. It honestly looks fantastic. You've got a little bit of purple that runs along the side of the figure up here, and actually kind of sticking true to what you would expect to find on an actual marine reptile, with a little bit of like a darker blue up here and darker purple and then lighter underbelly. It's probably what it would actually look like, or similar, I guess you could say. So really cool as far as the Plesiosaurus. Then we've got the Ankylosaurus, who only sports one gun, and similar to the others, shoots the same way. So we can take that off, take the headgear off as well if it wants to come off, which it does not want to do. There we go. And you can see that the sculpt and detail of this one is also really, really cool. Again, they're a little bit more of like an awesome bro type of a dinosaur. They're clearly not accurate or anything like that. We're not going by scientific accuracy. But as far as a really cool, quite nicely detailed Ankylosaurus, this is definitely a very good choice. You can see the underside is a little bit muted as far as the detail goes, but even as I turn it, you can pick up on some skin texture. It's definitely there. The armored area up on the top looks really good, as does the detailing on the top of the head. The coloration on this one is primarily all this yellow, but then you also have this brown up on the upper side of the animal. And these head spikes here are also painted with a light coloration, and then you've got a dark brown for the beak, which is really cool. You come out the end of the tail, you can see even the club tail has some really nice sculpt and detail to it. So the Ankylosaurus is also really cool. You have head articulation as well, which actually causes the tail to move, which you can see right there, which obviously means we have tail articulation as well, which causes the Ankylosaurus actually to headbang. So he definitely enjoys his metal. And then we can see we've also got articulation in all 4 of the legs. They're a little stiff as I haven't really moved them around much, but it's definitely quite nicely articulated. And then the final one is the Triceratops. So again, it's the same similar situation with the Ankylosaurus, just that one gun. And then we've got like that headgear type of an issue there. And then you can see that this Triceratops is also really nicely sculpted. It's got its mouth open, so it's kind of giving off a roar, maybe a battle cry. You've got some nice detailing even up onto the frill of the Triceratops. Really nice scaling up there on the top of the head. The horns on the head and the nose horn are also really nicely painted with a light coloration, a light creamy type color. You've got some nice grays there on the beak. Beautiful nostril up there. You can even see the detailing of the beak actually. You can see some cracks and crevices included there as well. As you come back into the body, look at the really nice scaling, especially right here and right here. It is very beautifully detailed, honestly quite highly detailed. Really nicely sculpted feet, beautiful muscle tone everywhere that you would expect to find it. It also has like splotchy blue up here on the back, which looks really, really neat, honestly. I actually think I like the paint scheme of this one probably the most out of all of them. You've got some osteoderms that run along the body and some scoots that run along the top up here, some osteoderm-like bumps. Really nice detailing as far as the skin texture down onto the tail and everything. Even the underside actually sports some really nice skin texture. You've got some beautiful skin folds and everything all over the animal. So really nice sculpt and detail as far as the Triceratops goes as well. Definitely a looker, I will say that. And again, it sports some really cool articulation. You've got the head articulation, you've got the limbs that are articulated, and then the tail, which again causes the head to move. So really, really nice articulation, really nice paint, really nice detailing. Absolutely awesome, all 4 of these. So I'm not going to measure each figure because there's just quite a few here and we don't really need to, but holding the tape measure over them, you can see that they are roughly around like the 4-inch range each. As far as a length goes, maybe a little bit shorter because some have their tails kind of curled like the Stegosaurus and Triceratops. I will also give you a size comparison here with the Papo T-Rex, the Colovosaurus, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon. You can see that these are definitely pretty small in comparison to all of these figures, honestly, but they are also really highly detailed, impressively highly detailed for their size. As you saw during the actual close-up shots, they're definitely really beautifully done, but they are smaller, which at the same time is a good thing because it will help to add them to any collection, whether you've got lots of room or barely any room. And considering how awesome these figures truly are, I definitely recommend everybody interested to just head over and start picking some of these up right away. But as you can see, they are definitely a bit on the smaller side. So these Zuru Surprise Egg Dino-Strike figures are awesome. I really am a big fan of these, and I didn't even really know about these like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I never had heard of these figures because I believe they just started to show up at Walmart for the holiday season, and they were kind of in like these side bin things that were just basically put there, I think, for the Christmas season, and I actually didn't even take note to them at all until I started seeing a few people posting images about them online, and I was like, wow, those actually look really cool. So now that I have 4 of them here to look at in front of you guys, I can definitely tell you with 100% confidence they are absolutely awesome. Really cool figures. Again, each dinosaur is really nicely detailed, and considering the size of the figure, there is impressive amounts of detail within. On top of the impressive detailing that is present, you also have some nice paint application on all of them. Each one has its own unique paint scheme, different than each other figure, and I really think each one definitely displays some really nice coloration, all kind of natural coloration at the same time, but they really do look overall beautiful as far as just dinosaur models alone go. Once you take those factors and add them into the idea of them battling with weapons, this now takes it to another level of awesome for sure. Again, very similar to Dino Riders. If any of you out there recall that show from way back in the day, that show was awesome. I was a huge fan of Dino Riders when I was younger, so anything that reminds me of Dino Riders is always a really, really cool thing. Definitely a very big nostalgia feel when it comes to these figures. It's the type of thing I would have expected to have played with when I was a kid, so it's really cool to see these out and about nowadays, and companies like Zuru making something like this, kind of that Dino Riders style throwback. All 4 of these figures I have here are absolutely awesome. I definitely recommend anybody interested in heading to their local Walmart and picking these up right away, because again, it's awesome that there are so many, but they're so cool to collect, and it's also really cool to have kind of that surprise element when it comes to buying one, because it's just takes the excitement up another level when you're opening it up to see what species you got. And luckily I have all 4 different species so far, but as I said earlier, there are 13 altogether, including a few that I believe are skeletons. There are others like the Tyrannosaurus Rex, a Spinosaurus, a Velociraptor. I do believe there is also a Therizinosaurus, a Stygimoloch, and a few others, so definitely head to your local Walmart, pick up these incredibly awesome Zuru Dino-Strike figures. But before you do that, don't forget to please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.